Welcome back to another episode of Health with Hashimoto's. This podcast is where I hope that every single week you find simple and sustainable things that you can do to improve your health. When you have an autoimmune condition like Hashimoto's, you know that every single thing that you do, it really adds up. And you want to be making sure that what you're doing is making a positive impact on your health today and your health going forward, because our health is a treasure. Our health is a gift. And as you know, as somebody who has had their health taken from them or decreased, you'll do anything to get your health back. I have seen that in the emergency department as a nurse. I've seen that in the clinic. I have seen that with my work as a nurse coach and nurse educator. I have seen that so many times. Your health is the most valuable thing that you have, and we really want to make sure that we are supporting it as best we can. So today on the episode, I'm going to share about some shadiness in the supplement practice or the supplement industry and why I now have a Fullscript link that you can get your supplements from. But first, let's talk about supplements in general. Do you need them? Well, when I went to nursing school back in, I started school in 97, I was taught in my one nutrition class that people do not need multivitamins. They do not need supplements. Those just make expensive urine. Now, as the years have gone by, I think that philosophy has gone down, especially as more and more and more research has proven that we actually all are deficient. We're deficient in minerals because there's not as many minerals in our food. We're deficient in antioxidants. We're deficient because our bodies are using more things. When you're under more stress, you use more nutrients to combat that stress and to support the different processes in your body that have to combat that stress and fix up the damage. So there's a lot of things that go into our need for supplements. And so where do you get them? Well, for about 20 years, not 20 years, from the beginning of when Amazon had supplements, I have been talking about that because I am older than Amazon. And when it started, it was just books. And then it became this store where you can get everything and you can get counterfeits of everything. And that's one reason why I tell people do not get your supplements from Amazon. But another reason is it's just really hard to verify that you're getting the good stuff from Amazon. And the only time I will buy a supplement from Amazon is if the supplier themselves says we are selling through Amazon. There was one company probably, 7 years ago that had the best probiotic on the market at that time. And the only place that you could get it was via Amazon. So I would make sure that I went to their store specifically on Amazon and I would buy it from them. And that's where I would tell my people to get it. But there are really no quality controls at Amazon. You can sell anything on Amazon, and that's a good thing and a really bad thing. So please do not get your supplements on Amazon. So where do you get them? Well, you can get them directly from the manufacturer. I really like the companies that sell directly to you. A lot of those are network marketing companies because really good supplements, they have a story behind them and they have a little education behind them. And now with the internet and with as much as the internet impacts us now, we can dig for information. But 10 years ago, we couldn't really as much. And so the word spread from person to person is, have you heard how much this can help you? And did you know that most people are deficient in minerals? And did you know that your body can create its own antioxidants? There's so many things that we need education about. And that is one of the really good things about network marketing is it's an industry of primarily people who want to help other people. And they are helping educate them so that their friends and family and their friends and family can all improve their health through different products. Unfortunately, there are some shady companies in the network marketing world. I've been a nurse for 25 years, 24 years, I don't know. And of course, people have brought dozens, if not hundreds of different companies and products to me and asked me to evaluate. And I have seen some definitely not good companies that I would never support. And I've seen some pretty good ones. There's like all in between. So look for good ones. But if you're just looking at like you want the Amazon of supplements, that is where Fullscript comes in. Now, Fullscript, I don't know when it was created, but their mission is to provide people with a place to buy quality supplements. And recently, they did a sampling of magnesium and to find out how pure all of the products that they sell are. So let me tell you a little bit about magnesium, why they did this study, and what they found. All right, so this story starts back in 2022 when a company did a study on products directly from Amazon. They took 16 products and they tested them, and they found that out of those 16, only 12 of them met even the label claims for the magnesium content. So, I mean, what is that? Like 75%? So there's right off the bat, you're looking at 25% of the stuff that you buy on Amazon, according to that study, it doesn't even have what it says on the label. Well, that's just ridiculous. You want to make sure that when you are investing in your health, whether it's the money that you're buying the products or the actual work of taking the products, not that's, a huge hassle. You pop a pill in your hand and you swallow it, right? But still, you want to make sure that every single investment that you have in your health is doing something. You don't want to be paying for and using something that is not going to work, especially if it's going to do damage. And some things on Amazon will do damage. Other companies have bought their quote own products, which were actually counterfeits, being sold on Amazon with very, very legitimate looking labels and everything. And they have found that they were like filled with wheat, they were filled with sawdust, they were filled with other things. Just please don't buy your stuff on Amazon, your supplements. All right, so the 2022 study revealed that only 12 out of the 16 were good. Now, the FDA, that's the regulation agency in the United States, they require now that all dietary supplements meet 100% of their label claims throughout their shelf life until they expire. I don't think it used to be that way. It used to be like 10%. And now, thankfully, they have to meet 100% of label claims. It's no longer like a pepperoni pizza. A pepperoni pizza could have 10 pepperonis on it or 500 pepperonis on it, and it would still qualify as a pepperoni pizza. That's how the supplement industry used to be regulated. But now the FDA has really cracked down, which is a good thing for us as consumers. So Fullscript ran their own testing, and they actually pulled 100 products off of their shelves and they tested them. But before that, I guess I should tell you why magnesium. Why is magnesium important? It is important because all minerals are needed for your cells to do things, to have enzyme reactions, and your cells run on enzyme reactions. You run on enzyme reactions. So you need minerals in order to make those work, to make you work, right? And magnesium is involved in, I believe, over 300 different enzyme reactions. And those include things like making proteins, contracting your muscles, relaxing your muscles, your nerve functions, regulating your blood pressure, regulating your glucose or your blood sugar. Magnesium is involved with your hormone receptors. And if you have Hashimoto's, then you have thyroid, which is a hormone. You have thyroid problems. So you really want to make sure that your hormone receptors are working, right? And magnesium is also related to your heart function. So many things. 300 different things within your body. And magnesium is also one of the top deficiencies in the Western world. So we want to make sure that we're getting enough magnesium. Obviously, getting it from food is the first source. And if you're not getting what you need from food, that's where supplementation comes in. That's why we have the word supplement. It's to supplement what you're already doing. It's to fill the holes of what you're not getting in your diet. So Fullscript took 100 different magnesium products. They took different forms, because there's a lot of different forms of magnesium, like glycinate, citrate, malate, lots of different forms. And they also took a lot of different delivery formats. So capsules, soft gels, liquids, gummies, lotions, all of these things. And then they tested all 100 products because they want to make sure that what is sold on the Fullscript platform is actually good. They want to make sure that we are getting quality products. They're committed to purity. And even though the different products that are in Fullscript that are available through that, even though they've been through other testing, ideally, I mean, obviously through the company itself, the manufacturer, but then also a lot of manufacturers and companies send their stuff to third-party testing. That's one thing that I look at when I am ordering supplements is, does it have third-party testing? And now Fullscript has done additional testing to make sure that what they have is pure and it does have the potency that it's supposed to have. And I just really appreciate that because it takes a lot of time to go through and investigate every single one. And I have sat at my computer, sat on my phone and done the investigation. Like I said, over the years, people have brought hundreds of companies to me. Hundreds, dozens, I don't know. It seems like a ton. It seems like I've looked at every single network marketing company, and yet people are always bringing me new ones. So I haven't looked at them all, but I have looked at so many, and every single time it does take time because I'm looking at the claims, I'm looking at the research, I'm looking at the purity, I'm looking at the third-party testing. I'm looking to see if what it says that it's going to do, if it's actually going to do it. Now, I am a nurse. I'm not a researcher. And I don't know everything, clearly. I am just a human being. I don't know everything. But I work really hard to make sure that what I am telling you is true and it's simple and sustainable. And it's not simple or sustainable to dig into every single supplement and company like I do. It takes me time. And when I have somebody ask me for stuff, I put it on a list and I wait until I have time. Sometimes I open that list and I open up that site up to the first person, on the list who's asked me to look up something, and I open it up. I'm like, well, yeah, nope. I can tell you right away that that's just a load of poo. It is not okay. And so I'll tell them, like, this does not meet my criteria. It's not something that I would choose to support my health or that I could recommend to others. And quite often people or just don't even respond when I tell them that, because what they really want, I think what they really want is when they're sending me a network marketing company is they're hoping that I'm going to join and I'm going to tell you about it. And then they're going to make a whole bunch of commission. And that's not how I do things. When I tell you about something, it's because I believe it. It's because I've done the research and because I believe that it could actually help you. And I have told you about things from different network marketing companies. When I tell you about the NRF2 pathway within your own body, where you can create your own antioxidants, where you can create glutathione, which does so many different things. In fact, endogenous glutathione, the glutathione that you make, that's what endogenous means. It was the number one thing that predicted if somebody was going to have a good outcome from COVID or not. If you had enough endogenous glutathione, then your chances were phenomenal versus, other. And so when I talk to you about that NRF2 pathway and activating that, or the NRF1 pathway, where you're activating your mitochondria, every single cell needs to run in order for you to run, right? Of course. And every single cell needs to run well in order for you to have healthy organs, right? Of course. And so what does every single cell need? Well, it needs the energy to be able to run. And that energy, of course, from high school biology, it's the mitochondria that creates that. And the mitochondria is impacted by the NRF1 pathway within your body. So when I'm talking to you about activating the NRF2 pathway and the NRF1 pathway, the products that I talk about, it's a network marketing company because it's the best that I have found. If I found a different one that was just as good or better, I would switch what I'm telling you. And I have done that in the past. I used to talk about a phenomenal product that had humic and fulvic acid in it. Now, I love humic and fulvic acid. They are little things from the dirt, and they contain so many minerals. They are so helpful to the body. I talk about them as kind of like college parents, a college student's parents. So those parents are going to go and visit their kid at the dorm. They're going to go in and they're going to look around the dorm room and they're going to say, oh, these things are missing. Let's go to the store, grab these things and bring them into the dorm room. And then they're also going to look at the dorm room and like, oh, there's a lot of trash in here. Let me take that out. That's kind of what humic and fulvic acid do within your cells. They go in, they look around, they bring in what's needed. They can carry in 77 or more minerals, and then they carry out the trash. They are phenomenal. And I used to talk about it all the time until that company that I was talking about got acquired by another company, and that company was not good, and I could no longer promote that company. Now, since then, I have found another company, actually 2 different companies that have humic and fulvic acid, because it's still something, or they are still something that can really help your health. But when I tell you about something, I'm going to make sure that the company as well as the products are worth telling you about, because I do not want you to waste your time or your money or your efforts. I want everything that you do to have a good result, at least as far as it is in my control. So all of that to say, I have looked at so many different companies, and I really appreciate that Fullscript actually tests their products above and beyond what the actual manufacturer and the companies do themselves. And then those companies send it to third party, but then Fullscript occasionally does their own testing. Now, Fullscript is not a store like Amazon where you can just hop on. Anybody can hop on and order. You need a link, and I do have a link so that you can create an account. Now, at this time, I do not do any monitoring. I will not do any recommendations as far as like sending you stuff. That's all on you. I give you the link. I educate you on this podcast, and I hope that through this podcast, you have learned so much and you can make, educated choices to support your health. I believe that you are the CEO of your own health. You make the decisions. I, as a nurse and as a podcaster, I am on your board of directors. Hopefully, your doctor, your chiropractor, your therapist, they are on your board of directors. Ultimately, though, you are the CEO of your own health, and you make the decisions. So I supply you with the Fullscript link in the account, and you can get what you want. Now, the glutathione stuff, the NRF2 and NRF1 activators, those are not on Fullscript, but other things are, like magnesium. Now, anything that I have purchased from Fullscript and that I will use for my family or for myself, I will put them in my favorites. So when you log into your account, you should be able to see, I think it's the catalog, and then you can see Esther's favorites, or maybe it says Health with Hashimoto's favorites. And like I said, those are things that I have actually purchased and used, because I want you to know that I'm not just selling you something. I want you to be able to trust what I say. And I'm going to stick by that. So head over to Fullscript and browse if you want to. If you want some information on the NRF2 and NRF1 pathway, which I believe are foundational, I would do those, and I do those before anything else, because activating your own body to do what it's supposed to do is going to be more impactful than other things. But of course, if you're not giving your body the building blocks to make what it needs, then you have to fill those gaps too. So I do take several different supplements. I take a pre and probiotic, so that would be called a synbiotic, and I take the one from Seed. You can get that on Fullscript. You can also get it from Seed themselves, and both of those have a subscription if you want. So I take that. I do take a calcium and magnesium at bedtime because I find that I sleep better and that I have less muscle cramping. I take a fish oil every day because I do not get enough healthy fats in my diet. Let's see, what else do I take? I think that's about it. I take the activators, so NRF1, NRF2. Oh, you know what? I do take a multinutrient because I want to make sure that I'm getting the minerals that I need, the vitamins that I need, the adaptogens, which is a fancy way to say helping my body combat stress. I want to make sure that I'm getting those. So I take a multinutrient. Now, all of those things, the NRF1, NRF2, and the multinutrient, they come from the same company so that I can take them together and they all complement each other. And I love that they complement each other because they're designed to be used together to make sure that you're getting the ingredients that your body needs in order so that, number one, it's activated, but then two, it has the ingredients to be activated, to create those antioxidants. You need both things. You need it to want to create it and to be able to create it, right? Like I can want to go downstairs and make a recipe, but I also need the ingredients. Is that making sense? I hope it's making sense. I feel like I kind of complicated it. Sorry. But you know what? Fullscript is not complicated. Head over there and get what you need, or head over to LifeVantage. My affiliate link is down in the show notes, and you will get a 10% discount when you go on subscription. And I recommend that first because activating your own body is always more powerful than something else. All right, I will see you next week in the Health with Hashimoto's podcast. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. Please be sure to discuss any concerns and plans with your trusted healthcare professional.